The album is called How Long? It was recorded early last year, 2018, and it's been out for just over a month now. It's been a long time coming, and I'm relieved and happy that it's finally out, and I actually have some music out there for people to listen to. I mean, it was all pretty standard. It was all pretty much stuff I always use, you know, the specific amps, 2-rock primarily. I had a Benson, I had a 68 Super Reverb, and a vintage K combo. I don't know the model, but that was featured on one song. All my usual guitars, pedals, the Victoria Reverberato tank that I call Frank the Tank. The first time I ever heard of you guys, I remember it so clearly. I was on tour in Montreal, playing a venue called Petite Campus, which means tiny campus in French. And I was watching a rig rundown on Premier Guitar for Jason Isbell. And he went through his thing and his rack, and it was the slide rig. And I didn't really ever use compression before. And I saw that and was like, okay, I'm interested in this. And yeah, and then the rest is history from there. I tend to use these more so in the studio than I have been live. I've been really messing around with these. When I first got it, I ran this at the front of my chain at 9 volts. And what it did for me was I left it on all the time. And when I had to play quiet, everything felt good to play. When I really wanted to turn up to a level that was usually not enjoyable, it felt good, and it's just softened it up in a nice way. I loved it. It was fantastic. And then I redid my board, you know, through the G2 on there, and I just asked for a lot of opinions from people, and a few people said you should run your compressor after your fuzz and overdrive. So I said, okay, I'll try that. And then they said you should really run it at 18 volts too. I said, okay. And once I did that, obviously the compression is, the headroom is a lot harder, and it just makes everything louder in a way too. So it's a completely different beast from how I ran it at 9 volts. Yeah, so the Revival Drive I've really only had for a couple weeks. You sent it to me days before I went on this tour, and I figured what better place to try it than on tour, you know, because you kind of dial in the sound, and we had a little play at NAMM on it, and you showed me all the different sounds. And once I got it home, I actually had a session with it, which it worked out fantastically on, with my guitars, you know, my kind of sound. It took a bit of dialing in, because I don't do like high gain. I don't do super saturated. I like that kind of tweed, low to medium gain. You know, you can turn the volume down and it cleans up really well. And then once you're full volume, it's not overly distorted in any way kind of sound. So you know, there's so much that you can do on here. I'm still figuring it out and getting to know it. The amps I play are clean, loud, high wattage, clean, and I always have an overdrive on. You know, at this point on my board, I have the Revival and I have the Duelist. And one of those is on the whole time, and my guitar lives at around 6 or 7 o'clock, always. Yeah, but again, you'll see it's not, the setting I have it is not crazy overdriven in any way. It's like pretty, it's mild, probably what you guys are used to, how you use it. But I'm really enjoying it. There's a couple songs with the Callings, where there's a lot of just open strings and open chords like that, where it really suits that chimey amp breaking up, but it's not too crunchy or crispy. It's smoother and creamier kind of thing. It works well, really well with that. Corey's a total bro, and we, you know, hook up and jam with each other if we end up being in the same town. So I was in Toronto in January, and he was playing at the Horseshoe. So he said, "Hey man, why don't you come up and play some songs with us?" I said, "Okay, that'll be fun." We had a great night. It was fun. And the next day, there was a video session for Frank Brothers Guitars, which is a company out of Toronto, Canada. Amazing guitars. And we just did a song. We decided to do one of his songs together with the band. And, you know, it's a song that has a lot of slide on it on the recording, and it was suited to find a place for me to fit in on it. And it was a lot of fun. Yeah, he's great. The guys in the band are amazing. Yeah, just good fun. The first thing in the chain is the Octaland by Jesse Davey, King Tone. Sounds like this. And when you hit it with something like the Revival Drive, Revival, this is clean. So it's really not that low, it's not that high gain in any way. That's wide open. Side sounds identical. Really digging it. Next is the Cali 76, so just clean. And I really don't use it like overly compressed. But with an overdrive, you know, it's... That's what the Revival is.
That's Revival Drive into the Cali 76.
Yeah.
So you can still use your volume to clean up the Revival.
Totally. So, I mean, without the compressor, without the Cali, Revival. Totally cleans up. With the Cali on. Yeah, and then a Leslie. Revival. And then last but not least, what you already heard, kick on the Flint. And that's when the V40 comes in. And that's it.